Hampstead School Board meeting.
I don't think we're on cable.
Huh?
I don't think we're on cable yet. You got a call?
You need to call.
I just called him.
Yeah.
Hi, we're ready to go? Okay, he needs a second.
We're all set.
Okay. Again, welcome everyone to the June 13th, 2017 Hampstead School Board meeting. It's nice to see everybody here tonight. We're looking forward to hearing the jazz choir and to see some of our Pinkerton students. It should be a very nice evening. Well, thank you all for coming and for the parents for coming and bringing your very gifted children here tonight. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Can we have a roll call, please?
Kathleen Abrazizi,
Here.
Jason Cipriano,
Here.
Caitlin Parnell,
Here.
James Sweeney,
Here.
Karen Yasenka.
Here.
Also seated at the board table is Assistant Superintendent Dr. Roxanne Wilson, and also present tonight is Superintendent of Schools Dr. Earl Metzler.
Mr. Fisher, would you like to introduce your group?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Kevin Fisher. I'm the choral director. These are my jazz choir section leaders at the middle school. We're thrilled to be here. I will be doing the national anthem tonight, and our first member is...
Hi, I'm Evelyn Morin. I'm in the 6th grade, and I sing soprano in the national anthem.
I'm Vera Bachman. I'm an 8th grader, and I sing soprano.
I'm Megan Howard. I'm in 6th grade, and I sing soprano.
I'm Kylie McMiniman. I'm in 6th grade, and I sing soprano in the national anthem.
I'm Ryan McMahon. I'm in 7th grade, and I'm a baritone.
I'm Kyoshi Dustin. I'm in 8th grade, and I'm a baritone.
I'm Evan Samiotis. I'm in 8th grade, and I'm a baritone.
I'm Lena Collier. I'm in 8th grade, and I'm an alto.
I'm Madison Finicaro. I'm in 8th grade, and I'm an alto.
I'm Maggie Berrigan. I'm in 7th grade, and I'm an alto.
I'd like to thank you very much for coming, and I'd like to ask everyone to stand for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very much. We're super excited to be here. We have a copy of our new studio album. The jazz choir went into Clark Creative Recording Studio in Amherst, New Hampshire this past year, and they did a full album. We have a plaque to present to the school board. And these are our leaders, so thank you, Ryan. If you all want to grab a bag to present the members.
Thank you very much.
We hope you enjoy the album. Thank you for having us and for supporting the arts.
Thank you.
Pass this around.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job. Thank
Thank you all. Okay. That was very nice, much better than just one of us saying the Pledge of Allegiance every meeting. Okay, we're going to move on to the approval of minutes. You'll see you have two sets, a regular and a non-public, from May 23rd. Please take a look at them, and if you have any deletions, modifications, corrections, please speak up. Otherwise, I will accept a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Give you a minute to take a look at them. Ready?
We have minutes from the training session as well.
From last night?
Yeah.
Okay. How come I don't have those? Let's vote on the minutes from May 23rd, 2017. All in favor of accepting them as presented? Unanimous, thank you. Now let's take a look at their, from our work session last night. May I have a motion to accept those?
So moved.
For a second?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Next, public comments. Do we have any public comments, Melissa? No? Okay. Administrative reports. Highlights. Mr. Collins.
Mr. Collins, you may want to pull that podium up. It was moved for the jazz choir. Thank you.
Oh, work has come. Just a couple things I just wanted to really highlight, mostly for those watching this evening. Kindergarten, I've announced to the parents that Mrs. Vitale is moving over from first grade to kindergarten. Just some numbers and shuffling, and she's a great teacher to move there. Screening has changed this year, which means move-up day is also changing for the children going into kindergarten. So we will not be doing the move-up into kindergarten thing for the kids coming out of preschool into central school. And secondly, if a child is going to be in kindergarten this fall, we're asking them to get in touch with the central school office to schedule a screening appointment, which will happen on Friday the 23rd or the 26th. If that can't work for a family, we'll schedule something in August. Moving to the other page here, just want Flag Day is being revived at the central school. We have our Flag Day thing. The whole first grade team has put something together for the families tomorrow morning. It happens right at the as soon as the school day gets started. Field Day's coming in on Friday of this week. I would like to make sure everyone knows that families are welcome to come and observe on the sidelines from a distance, be really good soccer parents and watch, because we do have a significant number of parents that have been selected that volunteer, that'll be involved as volunteers helping out with everything from, it's field day, it's games, it's fun.
Do we have a rain date?
Pardon me?
Do we have a rain date?
Monday. The following Monday. It's on our calendar. Move-up day, our last day of school, is the 22nd of June. Just want to again highlight that we aren't expecting those coming into kindergarten for move-up day. The playground structure, just so you know, we've made great progress. I sent you a little photo in the report. There's just a little bit of finish work that needs to be happening on the concrete pad underneath and the area around it. Mr. Hall's done a fabulous job working with our contractor to make sure it should be all set to go. I've been in touch with Katie Toscano, and we will work into our last day of school. That would be that Thursday, the 22nd. We're going to tuck a few little 15-minute thing in the middle of the morning with the students and Katie, so we can let them know this is the person that gave this gift to our school. The board is certainly welcome. I'll be in touch with the media so they can come in and maybe tell that story again, because Katie did a very nice donation to one of our other schools over in the Sanborn district where she worked as well. But she will be there that day. She's going to come and spend some time with the students and hang out on the playground in our new play structure. The Mothers Club made a nice donation. We're expecting to have some handicap accessible tables underneath there as well. So hopefully we can get some of those other little layers of dealing with contractors. I can't say thank you enough to Mr. Hall. He's done a great job coordinating this throughout the entire year. So you're certainly welcome to join us. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Collins? I don't. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm glad you enjoyed our kids sharing their gifts with you this evening. They're very excited about what they created, and it took them many tries to put this together as far as a CD. It's quite a process, and they really worked hard. And this is a group that meets every week at 7:15 in the morning, so I have to thank the parents for getting them there so early and enjoy their CD. So I'd like to just report out on a few things that are of note, and I'm not going to cover everything that's in your packet with regards to the principal's report. Everything is on our blog that's listed in our website. All of these things are in there, so at your leisure, please feel free to read them. On Wednesday, May 10th, we did hold our mental health awareness forum with Judge Broderick. It was very well attended. We plan to keep forward with this topic of educating parents about mental health pieces for children and adolescents in all that we do next year. So we will continue in this realm. I was very happy to welcome Headmaster Griffin and the media library specialists on Monday. They spoke to our 8th graders about the Principal Summer Read program, starting with the class of 2018 and every class thereafter. Students are to select a reading book of their choice. They're given many options, anywhere from a graphic novel to a very large book or an audible book that they are to read during the summer. And he was talking to them he talked to them quite at length, really, about the importance of reading and writing and how important those skills are for the rest of their lives, and that they can't have that summer slump ever. They have to continue to become interesting people, he said. So the more you read, the more interesting you become. And the kids were very attentive to that. On Wednesday, May 24th, we welcomed our 5th grade parents in for incoming parent night. Mrs. Karpinski, in her first year as our 5th, 6th grade school counselor, did a really nice job of talking to the parents about what they should expect, everything that it means to be a Hawk, and welcoming them into our school. We also had our spring music concerts, chorus, and band concerts. They went very well, and I think I saw every single one of you there. So it was a wonderful celebration. We saw you there one night, then I saw you there the next night. So we had a wonderful showing, and the kids really worked very, very hard. We had our Nelms Scholar Leader Dinner on May 25th in Manchester, where Emma Johnston and Cole Breen were awarded the title of New Hampshire Scholar. I was lucky to attend with them and their parents and enjoy an evening of celebrating all that it means to be a leader academically and service to your community. We had our Spring Sports Awards ceremony last week, where we celebrated our athletes in the spring sports, and coaches and athletes and parents gathered to reflect on their seasons and where we're going, and to just come together and celebrate the hard work and the dedication of these student athletes. We also, during last week, we had the National Junior Honor Society induction ceremony under the advisorship of Mrs. Howard, and these students were selected by an anonymous faculty council. Kids applied for this consideration, and they were judged on virtues of scholarship, service, leadership, character, and citizenship. And I would like to just say that Mrs. Karpinski, as far as our transition piece, and I know the school board has been, supporting us very much to have a strong transition for our 4th graders to our 5th graders and our 8th to our 9th graders. Well, our 5th graders, they joined as a group with Mrs. Karpinski on leadership skills and becoming ambassadors, and they have been going down, walking the emergency egress road down to the central school to meet with our newest students and talking about everything Hampstead. So we're starting to get that student leadership piece going early, and they were very excited about it, and they worked hard, and they were learning to work on their public speaking, their presentation, and sharing everything that they love about their school. And finally, I just wanted to reiterate that Mr. Robbins, our band director, was selected as the New Hampshire Band Directors Association Band Director of the Year for New Hampshire. He will be celebrated up in Plymouth in July, I believe it's July 5th, for their annual meeting. So congratulations to the maestro. And I hope you all can attend graduation on just 8 days. It's a week from tomorrow at 6 p.m. Happy to have you there, and we'll have your seats all ready for you. And some of you will be in the best role as mother. So, thank you. Any questions?
No? Thank you. I think you covered it. Thank you very much. I'd just like to mention that we decided that we don't want to have or need to have directors speak at every single meeting, so we're spacing them out. But just so that the general public knows that the board does get reports. We have written reports from the Director of Curriculum, the Director of Special Education, the Director of Technology, and the Facilities Director. Just so you know, the board is kept abreast of what's going on a regular basis, even though they're not at the mic reporting out, okay? On to current business. Every year, Pinkerton Academy, they have a scholarship board, and they choose out of a large pool of special applicants to give 2 students a $500 scholarship to help them with their expenses moving on to college. This year, we'd like to congratulate and give that gift to Derek Goulet and to Emma Bennett for their accomplishments. And I would like, who would like to speak first and tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're going to school? Derek, why don't you go? Derek, why don't you go first?
All right, so my name is Derek Goulet, and I will be attending UConn in the fall. And I'm stoked to go there. It's like the perfect school for me. I've always loved the big environment of Pinkerton, so figured why not even a bigger environment? And I like the ability to remain anonymous while being involved at the same time, so I don't have to get involved in the gossip or anything, but I can still excel in academics and join clubs. And as far as my plans for the school, obviously I've already mapped out my schedule and planned when I'm going to study, when I'm going to go to the gym, and what clubs I want to join, which one of the ones that stood out to me was the Adventure Club. And I know all of this would be possible, but it wouldn't be possible without the help of like the raising that I got in Hampstead and just like the school foundation. And I felt like I was adequately prepared to take on high school, and now I feel like I'm even more prepared to take on college. So I just want to thank you all for choosing me as one of the recipients of the scholarship, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Here. Whoops, I'm all plugged in.
My name is Emma Bennett, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm attending WPI in Worcester, Massachusetts this fall. Today I actually mapped out my courses and figured all that out today, and I'm going to be trying out for the field hockey team there this fall, so hopefully I'm able to make it because I don't know what I would do with all my free time if I didn't have a sport to play. So I'd like to thank you all for choosing me as a recipient of this award, and thank Hampstead just for preparing me very well for Pinkerton and for college. So thank you.
So nice tonight. We have a room full of gifted and talented students. Maria's not here tonight, but we also typically will give our Pinkerton liaison a gift, and this year it is a gift card to Barnes & Noble. So I don't know who will be seeing her, if you could present it to her. Okay. Pass it down. Just wanted to thank Maria for being here. I think her presence here and enhances the board, and I just hope that she felt that we in some way enriched her life going forward. Okay. Mr. Dancy, Dr. Dancy, we have a technology plan.
I do not have a formal presentation as that was made the last board meeting. I'm here for questions about the technology plan.
Correct. You did your PowerPoint, and we didn't have the plan in front of us. We now have the plan in front of us. So if someone would like to ask you questions, and I turned it over actually to Mr. Cipriano, since he is the liaison to technology. Okay.
Just before we get into questions, I'll let people clear out for a second.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Well, they're doing
before we get into questions specific to the technology plan, on a related technology note, I just want to extend a thank you to the Hampstead Cable Commission. Dr. Dancy, you want to just explain what's going to go on with the cameras at the middle school, thanks to the generous support of the Cable Commission?
Yes, you know that when we do our board meetings over at the middle school in the cafeteria, many people have mentioned the low quality of the video production. Well, the Cable Commission has graciously volunteered to replace the cameras that are in the cafeteria, and we're going to move one of those cameras from the far side of the cafeteria to the middle of the cafeteria on the soffit. We'll be getting a new mixer board as well and a new control panel. These devices will match what's upstairs here in the town hall so that the people who come back and forth operating these systems will be operating with the same type of equipment. But we're very grateful to the work of the Hampstead Cable Commission, and that will be taking place in the second week of July, and we should be done by, we should be ready in the fall with the new cameras.
Great.
Okay.
Long time coming.
Yeah, I know that's of particular interest to some of the members, and obviously, like I said, I wanted to say thank you to the Cable Commission. So, all right, so you have your technology report, or excuse me, the technology plan in front of you. A couple of things that I just asked the board members to take note of. Excuse me, much like a strategic plan, this is a multi-year plan. So we don't update the technology plan per se every year. Certainly we can make updates to it as needed, but we try to map out a multi-year plan when we go into it. And as Dr. Dancy presented previously, the plan is designed around 5 goals, 5 key areas that it addresses. So I guess if there's, now that you have it in front of you and perhaps have even had time to read it at home, if there's specific questions or anything the members want to discuss relative to any of those goals or relative to the, excuse me, to the specific action steps and activities.
I have a general concern on page 20, and
Page
this
what?
is page 20, and this is, I believe, under infrastructure maintenance or security. Objective 3, the district will conduct inspection reviews of our network operations. I believe this is where I was coming up with it. It's on a bi-yearly basis. And when I had first read bi-yearly, I thought, twice a year. I mean, do you think every 2 years is adequate for the rate the technology, develops?
At this point, we have not had any routine, and it was a starting place here. If you'd like me to increase that to yearly, to annual outside reviews, that's fine, we can do that. To answer your question, yes, I do believe, because our infrastructure has not changed quite at the rapid pace as the rest of the world's technology. So what they do in 1 year, we're going to be able to live with that for 2 years because we're not changing the devices, we're not changing the software. So quite honestly, when Mr. Diane and I talked about it, every other year seemed to be satisfactory.
Okay. I mean, I'm grateful to know too that where this is a long-term plan, that, you know, updates will be made as needed, because I wasn't clear on that when I was going through it originally. And I'm wondering, with just security of information concerns, I don't think I made a note on which page that is addressed on. I just want to make certain that we're doing everything that we can do to protect confidential information that's housed.
I will say that just today, we've installed a 30-day demo from Sophos, and those of you who are familiar with Sophos know they are a leader in data security, and to a product that they have, we've installed that onto our servers to guard against malware and ransomware and other threats of that nature that your regular firewall doesn't always see, because these don't come in as viruses. These are like encryption software that everybody uses. It's only being used maliciously against us. So we've installed that, and we're looking at other measures right now to ensure the safety of our data.
Dr. Dancy, you want to also just mention very briefly the concern about PowerSchool and why that's being moved to the cloud-based version?
Well, there are many reasons that we'd like to do it. Number one is data security. They have many, many, many people and programs who are all focused on one thing, and that's keeping your data secure. And so that will be one of the reasons. The second is that they are always up to date in their, they don't have to install, it's just done all the time, the patches, the updates, so there's not a human error component of that. The other side of that, it reduces the amount of space on our own physical plant that it requires, but moving PowerSchool to the cloud, to their managed service has really benefited a lot of other districts around us, including the Timberlane district, and they don't see the threats that we've experienced by doing this.
Okay.
Okay, and just a clarification question on page 28, when we're getting down to costs, projected costs, on the fourth line down, new computers / devices, the 2017-2018 year, there's a jump in that price. I'm wondering, is that the VoIP phone system that's reflected in there?
I'm sorry, you said page 28. It's, my pages are different.
Okay.
Than
budgeting, the first page of budgeting.
Right. Okay. So between 2016-17 and 2017-18?
2000, yeah, I mean, and then it goes back down 2018, so I was wondering if that new computers / devices was perhaps the VoIP phone system? Or
Yes, that is.
Okay.
And then what you see down below that, you'll start to see the increases in the replacement equipment. The reason why it's in the new computers and devices, because previously the phone system was a part of the facilities budget. So this is a new expenditure for the technology department, and that's why it's in new computers,
Okay.
new devices.
All right, I just wanted to make certain that I wasn't missing something.
Nope.
Okay.
And we haven't spent a lot of time talking about it, but also we're now moving over to a digital voice system. So. With far more capabilities, and we've talked a little bit about some of the areas where the phone system previously was lacking, particularly as it related to emergencies and things of that nature. The new system is going to address those gaps.
Okay. That's all I got.
Any other questions? I don't have any questions on the technology plan, but since you're here, I have a question on the new phone system.
Yes.
How much did that actually cost us? I believe we budgeted $70,000. How much did that come in at?
The bid was $28,000,
So way under.
way under.
Perfect. Great, thank you.
Could I ask the board to approve this plan so that, the consideration of that, so that we can say that it's an approved technology plan?
Sure.
I'll make the motion to approve the Hampstead School District Technology Plan 2017-2020.
Second?
I can second.
Somebody.
Any further discussion? No. All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Dancy.
Thank you.
Mr. Dowd, why don't you tell us everything we need to know about the Hampstead tuition rates?
Oh, good evening, Madam Chairman. Good evening, members of the board. If you recall, I was here on May 23rd, 2017, and presented the proposed tuition rates for the 2017-2018 year. I believe you have a copy of that memorandum from Mr. Stokinger in front of you at this time. One of the questions that arose during that was that if you look down into our previous tuition rates, you'll see that the middle school rate in the 15-16 school year had a jump where it was at $18,600. The previous year it was $17,400. The following year it was $17,300. The question was, what is behind that jump in tuition rates for that year? And upon looking at our calculations, that was a year we had a decline in enrollment. We had one year that we had a significant decline in enrollment at the middle school. It was a temporary thing. It resolved itself in a year, but it was about 40 students, about 10% of the population that year at the middle school. And that is the population that we use as the basis to calculate the tuition rate in that year. So we experienced a little bit of an uptick in tuition for that year. And you had also had a question, I believe Mr. Cipriano had a question on the current year elementary tuition relative to the previous year elementary tuition having only gone up about $100. And really, it's just a matter of way that the numbers worked out over that time in the population that we're using based on the student counts and the shift between middle school and elementary school. So in that year, a shift in one resulted in the total tuition cost not going up that much at the elementary level. So, but the numbers are vetted a number of ways and a number of times before leaving our office, and before giving you that information, I wanted to double check to make sure that I had the correct information. So I'm happy to discuss further the development of the tuition rate as we currently undertake them. Otherwise, if you have any questions, I'm happy to entertain.
Does the board have any questions?
It's not a question, it's just a note for you, Mr. Dowd, is from the Pinkerton Academy Sending Schools dinner the other night. Pinkerton Academy's enrollment exceeded their projections for this year, so they were a little above where they thought they were going to be. And because our tuition is based on total enrollment, that calculation, it's very small, but it's possible that maybe there's either a refund or a recalculation that's due. I only bring that up, you might want to just check with the business office at Pinkerton, because that was one of the takeaways there, is that their student population was higher than they had projected.
Interesting, and it could be an offset in next year's tuition as well.
Yeah, however they do that. I just wanted to make sure you had that information.
Thank you for that information. I will, I'll make a note, because that could have an impact on our tuition rates favorably, so, excellent.
Kathleen?
On the kindergarten tuition rate, this is the full cost for a full-day student. What is the parent liability for a full-day student?
In town?
Right? Is that, we have kindergarten tuition rate of $9,500?
Yep.
That's for full day?
That is for our half-day program.
That's for our half-day program?
Yep.
Okay. And do we have a full-day kindergarten?
Be double that.
rate?
It would be our elementary rate.
I see.
Mr. Dowd, also just another, because it's unresolved at this point, but I know the full-day K bill is up with the legislature. We don't know what the final version is going to look like. Have you had a chance to see it in any of its drafts yet and determine if it's going to, if there's any money that would be coming our way?
My impression is that there would be, but I have not seen it in final form and haven't studied the form that it's been in because it continues to change.
Yeah. No, I know, and I know that, and that's why I don't expect any numbers yet because we don't know what the final version. My recommendation, Madam Chair, is that we just put it on maybe some point in the fall agenda once the bill is signed, and then we can, and Jeff has a chance to calculate if we're going to see any money from the state to offset our costs. We just want to know, what's going on.
Fine, we'll put that on a future agenda once the legislative body has figured out what they're doing. Because right now, are they still in the mode that all towns will get it? And then they started out with just
It's going to be targeted,
based on need, but now it's going to be
as
everybody?
I understand it, all towns are supposed to get some. It's going to be targeted based on things like ELL
Yeah.
and free and reduced lunch. So there's some targeting in there where Hampstead, wouldn't be at the head of the line for the money. But as I understood it, the most recent versions, everybody is supposed to get something. Again,
okay.
we may get very little, but something. So.
And who knows how it'll look when the revenue is
Right.
is brought in to see what that picture looks
Right.
like.
So it's, yeah, and because there's a larger issue right now in Concord with not having a budget at all, I don't know, it's very difficult to say how this is going to play out.
Okay.
So.
Very well. If there are no questions, I don't know if a motion would be needed to
I think
approve.
we do need a motion to accept the tuition rates for 2017, 2018. Do I have such a
So
motion?
moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Caitlin. All in favor of accepting? Thank you.
Very well.
Thank you.
Moving on. School board goals. A portion of this is what was handed out to you at the last meeting. Here's my thought. This is a draft. I tried to glean what I heard from some people and from what was in last year's that would still carry over to this year, so I included it. However, if there are other things that you would like to put in or take out, if that's something that you feel that we can do tonight in, say, about 10 minutes, if it's not going to be a lengthy process, we can do it now. If not, I think we will borrow a page from our sister district and maybe have a special night for a workshop. If you think it's going to be something you want to get into more detail with, I would recommend that we do this at a workshop night rather than take up meeting time here.
I think that it would require some detailed work, so I would prefer a work session.
Okay. The will of the board, whatever you would like to do. Work session, okay?
It's fine. Okay.
Okay. We will move this to a work session and we will look at dates.
Do you have something in mind in the next few weeks? I'm just curious as to people's availability. Is this something you want to move to mid-July?
I think it would be best if we got it done in time for the next school board meeting. I have the 27th as our next school board meeting, so that we can...
Because there's a lot of things that pivot off of ours.
Exactly. And I think last year it took us a while to get them together, and it took until the fall.
Yeah, I'd like to get it done also so that the superintendents can also do theirs.
And what is the requirement? We need 7 days' notice?
No, we can do that. We have more than that. I mean, less time.
We could do it in less time than that.
Do you want to do it next, I don't know, schedules, but is it something that you want to do in the alternating Tuesday?
I can't attend. That's the 8th grade semi-formal.
What?
The 8th grade semi-formal.
Okay.
I could attend. If we started at, actually that's not true. If we started
this
at
doesn't have to
7,
be an evening. I think all of us here are pretty flexible. We can.
No, Jim. No,
Oh,
Jim.
you're not.
Evening.
Julie could. Okay, sorry. Has to be at night. Sorry.
Well, when my sitter's available.
Huh?
When my sitter is after school.
Monday, 19th?
I'm available on Monday, the 19th.
That works for me.
I could probably do that, yeah. I might be a little bit late, but I can probably do that
I
without
can't do
no
that,
problem.
sorry. I have a rec meeting.
Oh.
I can do Tuesday, can we start?
Huh?
I could do Tuesday if we start at 7 or later.
Tuesday, the 20th?
The 20th,
The 20th?
yeah.
Which, is the semi-formal at the middle school, actually at the middle?
Well, it's at Atkinson
Oh,
Central
okay.
School.
So it's Tuesday, the 20th work, at 7 o'clock.
I can do that.
Yeah, I can do that. Maybe a few minutes late, but I can,
Okay.
I can get there.
100%
Can I
positive.
also make a suggestion too? Like typically we, again, will of the board, but we've done a lot of our work sessions like at the middle school library. It's a little less formal, comfortable chairs because we're just basically sitting there and talking as opposed to formal meeting structure. I don't know if that works for people.
That's
but-
fine. I was going to suggest either that or the conference room at the central school, either one.
Yeah, that works for me as long as it's available.
All right, I'll find the location. I'm not sure this is available on that date.
We don't
so-
need to be here.
So it'll be
Prefer
either at
being
the
in the school.
library or the middle school conference room, and we'll send an email out to everybody. So are you thinking like 7 to 9, something like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Okay. Hampstead Central School Construction Plan Update. Very briefly, committee has met. The process is moving along nicely. We have sent out our qualifications and proposals, the RFQs, RFPs, to 8 different architectural firms. We are waiting to hear back from them. I know there was a walkthrough at the central school with one of the firms to actually take a look at the facilities. So that's where we are. We're on a tight schedule. We hope to have a firm selected and things in place and ready to go by June 30th. And on the other half of that, the administration has made arrangements to move the 2 4th grade classrooms into the central school for the start of the school year. So those things go hand in hand. Okay?
Can I just ask, who are the members of the committee?
4.
You said a committee has been formed for the HDS construction plan.
It's Jeff Dowd, Dr. Metzler, Dr. Wilson, myself, Mr. Collins, and Gino Baroni from Trident. Am I missing anyone? That's it. Okay. Any other questions on that? There's really not much to report out at this time.
Chair, too.
Yep.
I would add, just to amplify.
Oh, I'm sorry, and
I did
Vice Chair.
I attended
Jason
last one.
Cipriano
But I
was
would-
also on it.
Just to
Sorry.
amplify what you just said, in terms of not being much to put out there, I would caution members of the public that, this is at a very early stage about making, some members of the public may be tempted to make assumptions about what's going to be in, what's not going to be in, so forth. We're at a very early stage right now, so I think it would be presumptuous to make assumptions about those kinds of things.
Yeah. We're in the design stage. We know what we need educationally for space. That's our job. The architect is going to come and tell us, give us options on how best to maximize that space to meet our needs. So we're not walking in, we're not telling him we need this, that, or the other thing. We're telling him our educational space needs, and they will each, 8 of them, design options for us to choose from. Okay?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I just want to also add that I know that we were asked and tasked to bring in the 4th graders, which we did. Several meetings, a lot of thought went into that. It's not always easy to find the solution, but I think we've done an admirable job to bring them in. We also, through the process, decided to bring in the students for who were going out there for OT services. So those students are also going to be staying within the school. We've figured out how to do that. So I just wanted to let you know that that was also part of the process.
Okay, good, thank you. Any other questions from the board for that?
Excuse me.
Okay, policies. Okay, let's see if I can get this right this time. Second read is BHC, Board Employee Communications, DL, School Student Activities, and DO, Food Service Meal Account Balances. And I'd like to point out that these have already been run through the policy committee. 2 board members, Kathleen and I myself, sit on that committee, so we have reviewed these. So they are coming to you after board members have seen them. For a first read tonight is EHB, Data Records Retention, JICH, Student Drug and Alcohol Abuse, and IGE, Parental Objection to Specific Course Material. It's a first read for the board tonight.
So I'll move that the board accept on second read the 3 policies that the chair read and advance from first read to second read the 3 additional policies that the chair has read and that are contained in our packets.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion?
We've got discussion on policy IGE, which is parental objection to specific course material. And it's more of an informative thing. This does come up from time and again where parents have questions about the curriculum materials, textbooks, and other materials that their children are getting. And so I do think that just reminding people that the policy is there, that exists, that any parent that has a question about it can refer to the policy. Also, that our approved curriculums are posted online so a parent can look and see what's in the curriculum. And then via PowerSchool at the middle school, parents can look and see specifically drill down to what the students are doing in any given week. They can look at, they're taking a test on this and they're in this lesson and so forth. And so between that and the curriculum that's available online, there's a significant amount of information specific to what the students are learning at any given point in the school year that are available to parents. And I only bring that up just to make people aware of it, because periodically as a board member, I may get I'll get a question just about that. And it's not usually that a parent is objecting, they just want to know. They just want to be aware, and so I direct them where to kind of go to find that information. So
I would just add to that within the curriculum, it also states at the bottom of every lesson plan, every lesson quarter, what materials are going to be used to teach that curriculum as well. So that if parents want to know what books their children are reading and that sort of thing, oftentimes those things are actually listed in there.
Okay.
Could I also clarify that under IGE, this was amended due to the legislation that came through just recently, giving parents, we have to give parents advance notice, usually 2 weeks, and that is a new procedure for us. So in order to do that, we have to develop a new procedure, and this policy points to that procedure, which the administrative team will take up this summer. So it does point to IGER-R, IGE-R. So we will be developing a procedure on how to do that. So I just wanted you to be aware that sometimes these policies make us, have to look at our procedures, and that's what we're doing here.
Dr. Wilson, it's also my understanding that periodically, a parent may have a question about the curriculum, specific curriculum materials, where it can be resolved by them just coming in and sitting down with the principal or assistant principal and viewing the materials themselves and discussing it.
And we suggest that be the first step. That's especially if it's questionable and you don't know, to come in and review, and the teacher can sit down with the principal or Doris Bucco, the director of curriculum, as well. So many people knowledgeable about the actual curriculum and the materials are happy to do that. You want to move the first?
Ready to vote? All in favor? Thank you.
Can I clarify that? All in favor of moving?
Moving
That was all of them.
all of them.
Okay.
Melissa, you had the motion?
I do.
Jason gave? Okay.
I do, thank you.
Yeah. Board comments and correspondence. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Fine.
I'll set it. So as Mrs. Danola mentioned, we had a number of performances at the middle school that I was able to attend. The band and the chorus and did a fantastic job. Those were really great productions. And they also tied into an art show. So you had the ability, they had art pieces up and down the hallways. So you had the ability to take a look at the students' artwork in addition to the musical performances. So I was at those things. I also went to the Sending Schools dinner at Pinkerton. I mentioned one of the key takeaways was that enrollment piece. Pinkerton is doing well. There's the things that they're looking at just for board members' knowledge. They continue to look at parking as a significant thing, a significant factor they're looking into. Compensation appeared to be a significant thing they're looking into right now, and they're undergoing an energy transformation to try to move to more sustainable electrical generation within the district and lower their waste and things of that nature. So they're trying to become a more sustainable campus. That was another kind of key takeaway. We did get a yearbook. I ended up with it, so I did drop that off to the middle school. So if you don't have a student in high school and you want to take a look at it, it's a really nice yearbook. They do an excellent job with it. So.
Okay, Caitlin?
I also was able to attend both the musical performances. I just want to commend our music program at the middle school. It's really, I'm often blown away by what these 5th through 8th graders put together. So for Mr. Fisher and for Mr. Robbins, it's amazing. And the art show was wonderful as well. There were even some ukuleles that the students had done, which was a pretty impressive piece of work. I was able to attend last Friday the 4th grade Flume field trip, which is always fun. It was raining and a little chilly, but the kids had an amazing time. The teachers put together a great trip. So that's it.
Great. Kathleen?
Okay. I did go to the Pinkerton Sending District's dinner as well. It's looking like I've been doing a lot of parent stuff. It's just been a busy spring to be a parent in Hampstead. And the Emergency Policy Committee meeting to address legislative changes. And just general volunteering.
Just the New Hampshire School Board Association training that we all attended.
Yeah,
sorry.
Forgot all about that.
I'll speak for all of us.
And it was yesterday. I still forgot we were all there.
The only thing I had to say, so I had to remember.
Not that they're not memorable. Not that Barrett is listening to this somehow.
Yes.
I attended a construction committee meeting. I attended the retirement party at Atkinson Country Club for some of members of our staff. I attended some interview meetings and the Emergency Policy Committee meeting and some other routine things, I guess. And as far as correspondence goes, we got a very nice thank you card from Sandy Hankus, who was retiring. Okay. And I think that's it. Dr. Wilson, we'll move on to the consent agenda.
Yes, I will start with 2 pieces of information in your packet. One, again, is the updated projection for the revenue, the surplus. So I wanted to make sure that you had that information. That was actually, I think, emailed to you all. As well as the schedule of payments from George Stokinger. And this is just the schedule that the school district follows for the 17-18 school year in terms of their payment. for their ability to actually pay the bills. So that's in your packet as well. I've been everywhere Karen's been. So in terms of policies and interviews, retirement celebration, which was wonderful, by the way, in terms of just recognizing those staff who have done so much for our district. Last night was Pinkerton's graduation. We had about 90 Hampstead graduates, so it was the ceremony was very crowded, very enthusiastic, but the kids all left with a sense of accomplishment, and it was many excellent opportunities to see the awards and the talented kids that we have in all of Pinkerton. So it's always a great validating experience. Our water filtration system, as I had let you know, we did install the filtration system that we had talked about last fall, where we had a slight elevated reading for the PFOA in the water. And although it was under the EPA guidelines, the board astutely decided to mitigate by putting in the water filtration system. And it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. So now we have less than a trace, which is, it's not even detectable using the standard measure that they have. So it's doing what it's supposed to do, and you know, we thank everyone who was involved in getting that done over April vacation. We will be putting out a press release. It's ready to go. I also wanted to notify you that procedures, sometimes the H team gets together and we work on the procedures based on your policies. And we did update the old procedures and also adopted some new procedures. And one is, and you can find these all online, JHC-R, which is student release precautions, how we release students to parents during the day. That's usually found in student handbooks. So we wanted to make sure that we pointed to the student handbooks. JICBR, student care of property form. We don't use it, and we repealed that form. We had another type of a form already in another procedure. EHAA-R, email retention guidelines. We had some more information that came to us, so we did amend that. And so those guidelines have been changed. IKE-R, promotion and retention of students. Both the principals looked at the process in which they use to make some of those determinations, and so those were clarified a little bit better. And ECAF-R, audio and video surveillance on school buses. Sandy Hodgkins, our transportation coordinator, looked at that along with some of the procedures that we use in Timberlane, and that has been updated. So I wanted to bring that to your attention again for your review. I have personnel. Do you have any questions? I have a personnel report. We've been very busy, as you know.
Dr. Wilson?
Yeah. Yes.
For the 2017-18 nominations for the grade 3 special education and school nurse, I'd like you to do that now and in public. And for the facilities director and assistant principal, I would like to pull and go into non-public, please. So please do the 3 nominations first, and the administrators I'd like to do in non-public.
Okay, I can certainly start with the 3 nominations with Michelle Carberry. You have the information in front of you as far as her expertise in experience in teaching. She has a bachelor's in elementary education and a master's from Columbia University as a literacy specialist. So we are very fortunate to have her coming to New Hampshire. She has taught at Lowell Public Schools as a grade 2 teacher. She's also taught in New York as a pre-K teacher, and so she is well-versed in elementary practices. We were very impressed with her candidacy, and so we have brought her to you for completing the hiring process. She is very pleased to be here. She actually shared with me that she had another offer, and she was very excited to know that Hampstead was interested in her.
One small item of correction, you said she was with the Lowell
public school system.
Did I say
She was
Lowell?
with
I meant
Lawrence.
Lawrence. Yeah, thank you. Okay. And I think she will be a great addition to the team. Moving on to Teresa Marusha. She is certified in elementary education and also general special ed. She's a special education teacher. She has a bachelor's in elementary ed, and she also has, from Riviere College, she has a master's in reading and writing. Again, another teacher who has some expertise in a little bit more than just the elementary ed, a lot with literacy. She has worked several years in Derry as a special education case manager and doing a lot of reading intervention. She has been a tutor for the Children's Dyslexic Center in Nashua, and she has done some work as a readiness and kindergarten teacher. She has, I think, a wealth of expertise that we're looking forward to in terms of her ability to actually work with students with reading disabilities. So we were very pleased to have her interested in working for Hampstead. And then the third nomination, and this is again a critical shortage area for nurses, as you know. We had Julie Nielsen, who is actually a working nurse right now, and she's been working at Parkland Medical Center for a number of years. She also has she's been a clinical coordinator of Pediatric Lifespan Unit, and she has felt as though she needed to do something different in more of a preventative type of environment, so she wanted to come to a school district. And so, often we see that when someone's been a nurse for a number of years and always on the reactive piece of things. She wants to help more with some of the prevention. So she is very much looking forward to working with students and families and assisting our very busy nurse office at the middle school. So we were pleased to have her interested as well.
Okay. Do board members have any questions of Dr. Wilson of these three candidates?
Just have a have a comment, and it looks like we should be okay on the nurse hire. For the board members, there's a law that went into effect within the last year that affects school nurses, and that is that if they were hired after July 2016, they now have to be certified by the Board of Education in addition to being certified as a nurse, which that's the big change. And there were also some changes because the Board of Education was requiring a bachelor's degree, which the nursing board only required an associate's degree. So we can see this candidate does have a bachelor's degree, so we should be okay there. But just be aware of that. And this is already a critical shortage area, and I can't imagine it's going to get any easier with the new requirements.
Right.
So.
Any other questions of these three? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please, to accept the nomination of Michelle Carberry, Teresa Maresha, and Julie Nielsen?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of accepting the nominations of these three?
Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Wilson, is the assistant principal, Deanna
No.
Poulin, here?
No, I did not know you wanted her at the meeting, so I did not invite her. She's more than willing to come for a future meeting as well. She's very excited to be coming to Hampstead.
How's the board want to proceed? Would you rather wait so we could actually meet the person who's been nominated?
When we hired the HMS assistant principal, I know it was during the summer session, so we had called a special meeting, and the board had an opportunity to interview the candidate. So I would suggest that we table this item until the board has that opportunity.
Kathleen, were you on that interviewing committee?
I was on the interviewing committee. I just think that it would be proper for the board.
We haven't always had the whole board do an interview. They have met the candidate, and I think for that, because it was kind of a different type of a hire over the summer, perhaps that's why we had her come. But I know that, Deanna would more than be happy to be here. I didn't ask her to be here tonight, so I feel as though it was my obligation to do that, had I known you wanted to have her here. She's got some great experience and wonderful energy.
What's the will of the board? Do you want to move forward with this tonight, or would you
I'm
rather wait
comfortable
until you
acting.
can
I'm comfortable
can meet
acting
her?
on the recommendation. So,
I feel to some extent that I would want to defer to Kathleen's suggestion, since she was on the committee that met with the candidate. So I would support tabling until we've met her.
Jim?
Well, if we're going to start a practice, if we're going to meet candidates before we vote on them, then we should stick to that practice.
Well, for administrative.
For administrators, not all staff.
Right, well, the candidates that we vote on.
I would agree. If for no other reason, I think it would be appropriate that the board have an opportunity to meet the candidate, to see who's going to be sitting in that office and working with our children on a daily basis. Okay. So I'm hearing 1, 2, 3, 4 would like to table this until she can be present and we can meet her.
If she's able to come to the work session, would that be an opportunity for you to meet her? I'm just trying to think of, I don't know her schedule. The only other meeting we have is the 27th.
Correct.
I could possibly see if she's available that night when you're all meeting for the work session. You have an opportunity to meet her then.
I'm comfortable with that.
Are we able to take votes in work session?
You don't, it's not going to be taking action, but you can certainly.
Do you want me to call her? You can take a crack.
Well, he was just suggesting if you wanted to meet her tonight, we could call her to come. But
where does she have to come? Where does she have to come from?
You know, it's at least a half an hour drive. It's 20,
I don't know if that's fair.
It's 20 minutes, and I
either.
think that's asking a little bit too much.
I don't think that's fair to ask
Yeah.
someone to
But you could
get out
meet
of their
her.
comfy clothes and get in the car to drive there.
Well, she doesn't have to be dressed up.
You
No,
could
but
meet
I-
her.
I don't know that that's fair.
You could meet her on the 20th, and then you could act on it on the 27th.
I'm okay with meeting her at the work session.
I am too, as long as we, can we take action at a work session?
No, but you could take action on the 27th. or-
Okay, that works. Dr. Metzler?
I just want the board to be aware that the delay of 2 more weeks, you do risk losing the candidate to another district. This isn't the only place that potentially could hire her. That is a risk that you need to be aware of. She was under the impression, because the assistant superintendent was asked to make job offers, she made job offers, the job offers were accepted, and she wasn't here tonight primarily because she would have been here if she was asked, but she was under the impression that action would be taken tonight. So I just want you to be aware of the risk we could lose the candidate with a delay. Thank you.
Question, I'm assuming that the offers that were put forth are contingent upon board approval?
Yes.
Okay. Any comments on that, or are we still good?
I'm still
Well,
good to meet.
We could be here for 2 more hours, so.
Yeah, that's what I was
We could
thinking. It's
act-
worth it to give her a call at least.
But no pressure, though, that's the big thing, no
I
pressure.
don't know, I don't feel that's fair to someone to spring that on them. She's coming half an hour.
She might not even be home. She may be doing
she's
stuff.
home, and I don't think that's fair.
I don't either.
Get her on the phone first thing tomorrow.
Ask her to come to
I am like 99% confident that you are going to see her candidacy as all of these members were interviewed, and Kathleen, you can speak on her behalf. She is the type of person that we want in our district.
That's why I'm referencing the person that I met in the interview, and I think that she may actually drive here tonight if we extended that opportunity to her. So that's just where I'm at.
I'm seeing our administrators shaking their heads. If you want to call her, we'll probably be sitting here, definitely for at least another half
No
hour.
pressure, though.
But no pressure.
Yeah, make sure.
Sorry, that's the cold, that's not.
Yeah.
Right, it's the cold.
Yeah. Lucky you have a cold for an excuse.
Oh, and also, I mean, if this is the practice that you want going forward for administration, then, you know, that's something that, for me, I can put that into place. And I feel obligated that I needed to tell her to be here tonight. And because of the way we've done hiring before, for principals, yes. For assistant principals, we haven't always done it this way.
Just go back to the Hampstead Middle School vice principal was here.
Yes, for a summer hire. It was a whole, we had to have that special meeting for just her. That was the only action that we had that day. We've had other personnel reports through the, you know, through all of the hiring over the last 4 years, where always haven't had the person here. So as long as we know if that's a practice going forward, then I'll be clear with the candidate, and, you know, we won't go through this situation again.
Sure.
So,
that's fine.
Okay. All right, so let's wait and see. Let's wait and see if she's able to come, all right? So now we have 2 candidates to talk about in terms of the administration.
Yes. For the facilities director, I would like to go into non-public. Under B, the hiring of any person as a public employee. I know that the board may have questions. And also, if Deanna is able to come here, we'll do the same with her.
Okay. I do have Jeff Dowd here to present and to give you more information regarding the position and the job description. So do you want him to be involved in the non-public session?
It's the will of the board.
I think that's appropriate. Sure.
Yep.
Do you want to vote to go into non-public?
Yes.
Yep, roll call vote, please.
Could we have a motion and then somebody second it, and then I can take roll call?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Thank you.
What's the verdict, Mr. Collins?
She's doing teacher evaluations at home, but she said she'll break that up to come over to Hampstead. We'll see you in about a half an hour.
Okay. Thank you. We're doing roll call vote now for non-public.
Mrs. Abrazizi?
Yes.
Mr. Cipriano?
Yes.
Mrs. Parnell?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mrs. Yusenka?
Yes.
Madam Chair, I had forgotten, we also have Tom Gary here, who is our new COO, Coordinator of Operations, who is also going to be involved with the Director of Facilities, Transportation, and Food Service. He is also here as well. So if you wanted to have him stay, he can also speak on.
Okay. No, I think if you'd like to introduce Mr. Gary, that would be appropriate, but I don't think he needs to stay during our non-public for questioning.
You want to introduce Mr. Gary?
I am happy to introduce Mr. Gary. Are we in non-public at this time? Is it okay for me to speak?
Did it go through?
We did vote, but.
All right, we're officially in non-public.
Do we want to wait for Jason?
Okay, we're back. Dr. Wilson, do you want to do Deanna?
Yes, again, thank you for the opportunity, and I was very pleased that Deanna was able to come here tonight to answer your questions, and I think that, as you could see through our recommendations that she has a lot to offer the district. So I would like to have a motion to approve her nomination from the board, if possible.
So moved.
One second. And just for clarification for public, it's, this is the Hampstead Central School Assistant Principal position.
And her name is Deanna Poulin.
Thank you.
Poulin. Okay.
I think we can vote.
Yeah.
Give it a second.
I second.
All in favor?
Thank you very much.
Unanimous, thank you.
And additionally, what I'd like to do now is I'd like to withdraw the nomination of Gary Paradis. So there is no action because I'm withdrawing his name.
Okay, thank you.
That's it for the personnel report, and actually my report to you, I think I already gave you that. The finance documents have gone around.
Yep, they're right
So
here.
I believe the manifests have been signed.
Does anybody have any other business to come before the board?
I have this in my packet. Is it new?
The Unified Arts?
Unified
Oh,
Arts?
that's for your perusal. I can speak to that at another time, but it's really for you to understand the major, kind of the big picture. When we were talking a lot about some of the kids will have choices to make on their Unified Arts schedule. And there are reasons that choices have to be made. So I wanted to be clear to help you understand that, you know, we pride ourselves at the middle school on providing lots of exploratory opportunities for kids. And we have to make choices. We can't do all for all kids all the time. So this is part of what happens when you go to Pinkerton, for example. You have to make choices on the classes. This is an example of what choices kids have to make in each grade so that you have a better understanding of what Unified Arts perhaps some kids take or might have to make choices of taking, depending on schedule or their interests. And specifically around band and chorus, those are full-year courses. So I wanted you to have this, and we're going to post this on the website to make sure that parents understand that, yes, there are going to be choices that we make if we are going to continue to be a school that offers exploratory activities. Okay?
Okay. Is there any other business to come before the board? If not, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second.
We are adjourned, Cable, at 9:45.
Yes.